Full-time or part-time? That is one of the biggest questions that I get as a realtor when new realtors approach me. What's up guys, it's McKeown back again with another video this week. Today we're going to be discussing the difference between a part-time agent and a full-time real estate agent. When I first started making videos on YouTube, my intention was to make a bunch of investment related content. Now, just like when I first got into real estate altogether back in 2016, that was my intention as well. I jumped on BiggerPockets, I read a bunch of investment books, and my whole niche and desire was to get into real estate investing. So really, I wouldn't be stuck teaching high school for the next 40 years of my life. However, I wound up taking things a little bit further than that. When I first got into real estate investing, fast forward 12 months, that's really when I got officially licensed as a realtor. I didn't even think about getting my real estate license for really the first 6 to 8 months of knowledge and just understanding of real estate investing. But again, it was the best decision that I made moving forward in my life. Now, to give you guys a little bit of a scoop of why exactly it has changed my life. Now, I can tell you from the real estate investment side of things, that is a majority of my net worth, meaning buying properties, having them cash flow, having them appreciate, and decide to sell them and upgrade to an even larger investment. But my day-to-day income was only teaching when I first got into real estate investing. Now, I've been able to leave teaching, leave coaching, and do this as a full-time job ever since 2008. I've been fortunate and blessed with the opportunity to help people all over Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, to be able to either buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And I've even grown a large network of agents across the country. So I've helped people that have reached out to me via Instagram, via YouTube, and helped them, not personally, but I've given them an agent in their local market to help them either buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Now, by doing this, I have been able to become a full-time agent truly from the day I got licensed. But initially, I was a full-time agent while teaching high school. If you guys are familiar with how much teachers actually work, and then you throw in coaching as well, and then you throw in a side hustle as well, I was essentially working a ridiculous amount of hours from the summer of 2017 when I first got licensed to the summer of 2018 where I officially quit teaching high school. So that brings me back to the very question that I get asked by agents nowadays, especially a lot of new agents, is, hey Casey, did you start off as a part-time agent? Did you start off as a full-time agent? What's the difference between the two? And what's the best route to go to be successful? So with this video, I'm gonna break down for you guys the differences between part-time and being a full-time agent, because I can tell you I've hosted a ton of free lunches for new agents. And I can tell you when I do those classes, about 70 or 80% of them are looking to go full-time, when I highly suggest not to do that out the gate. And I'll explain here why. So let's start with part-time. Part-time basically means that you're gonna be doing this on the side. It's gonna be a true side hustle. You've got a full-time job that you may love, you may not entirely love, or maybe you hate and just wanna get out of as soon as possible, but you're gonna do real estate on the side. To give you an idea, that's kind of what I did initially. I was working, teaching high school as well as coaching. Yes, I consider myself to be a full-time realtor at that time, but if I had a client reach out to me and want to see a home at 10 a.m., I wasn't going to be able to do it because I was obviously working my day job. But I can tell you, having been actually removed for 4 years of teaching, there was a lot of times when I was texting clients in class as a teacher. Unfortunately, it's not something I'm proud of, but it's something that I had to do. Also, I had conference periods and I had leadership periods where I had a little bit of time to myself to where I could actually email clients, I could call them, I could schedule appointments, so on and so forth. So really, while I was teaching, I was able to do real estate stuff. And then obviously when I got outside of work, I was networking and having dinners and hosting open houses on the weekends. So I was still, in my eyes, really working 2 full-time jobs. If you want to be a little bit more risk adverse, I highly suggest you keep your job, get your real estate license, do it on the side, find out if it's even something you even like to do, because I can tell you, if you ditch everything and jump full-time into real estate and you find out you don't even like it, maybe the hustle and grind's not for you, you've just given up everything. And for me, it was 8 years of teaching, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a ton of time and money as well invested into that career path that only I wound up doing for 2 full years. So again, if you're more risk adverse and wanting to be a little bit more safe, I would suggest that you go the part-time route. So again, when we're talking part-time, we're talking weekends, we're talking evenings, not joining a team. That's gonna be the biggest difference here. I explained to you guys as a full-time agent. A part-time agent is not gonna be joining a real estate team. Now, a part-time agent will have to join a real estate brokerage. To be honest with you guys, when I first got licensed, I even had a team approach me go through a series of questions, and one of them was asking me particularly if I was gonna be a part-time or if I was gonna be a full-time agent. The team itself was only interested in bringing on full-time agents, and me myself, when I was interested and was growing a team, I didn't even entertain the idea of a part-time agent. Because it's just like if you went and decided to take golf lessons, okay? Your golf coach is scheduling you for 3 days out of the week. You only decide to show up for one of them. Your golf coach is obviously gonna be happy because you're still paying him for those 2 other times. He's not gonna be very happy with your progress only showing up 1 day a week. It's the same thing when we're talking about a part-time agent. Part-time agent, as a team leader or an individual that runs a team, you're only gonna be able to invest so much into that person and get so much in return because they're only putting so many hours a week into their actual job. So again, part-time agents will still, just like full-time agents, join a brokerage, and I highly suggest that you interview as many brokerages as you can to find out a good fit for you. But a part-time agent, 9 times out of 10, will not be joining a team. Because again, a team is gonna want you there 9 to 5, 5 days a week, putting all the time and effort into you so they get a positive return on their investment. Another opportunity that part-time agents do is they do real estate part-time and then another side hustle part-time as well. For instance, I'll give you an example. Uber could definitely be a great opportunity for evenings, weekends, late nights, early mornings for, shuttles to and from the airport, so on and so forth. And then you could still do real estate during the day. But again, that's no guaranteed income from real estate. There is obviously a little bit of guaranteed money with Uber, but there's no reassurance and security there because it's still a 1099 profession or a 1099 opportunity, and it's only making you money when you turn on that go button. So for most agents, which is really the opposite of what I see when I go to these luncheons and sponsor brand new agents, is I would suggest, and I would highly, highly, highly suggest going part-time at first. Now, if you lost your job, or a lot of people that go full-time out the gate is if they have a significant other, oftentimes paying the bills, paying the mortgage, paying all the expenses. But if you yourself are alone, you gotta pay your bills, you gotta pay your mortgage, you gotta pay your rent, food, so on and so forth. Keep your job, do real estate on the side, build up your real estate portfolio or your real estate clientele. Once you feel like that's large enough to where you can give away your full-time job, then you can transfer over to what I'm gonna go over next, which is being a full-time real estate agent. So now we're gonna fast forward to being a full-time agent. What I can tell you is I've been a full-time real estate agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas since 2018, only being a part-time agent for 12 months. And yes, it happened way quicker than I could have ever imagined. Now, being a full-time agent, that means, yes, you are gonna be held accountable by yourself. You're not gonna have anyone else there holding your hand, telling you when to go to work, telling you where to be, how much you need to work, how little you need to work. It's all gonna be truly dependent on your drive, your ambition, and your desire to succeed. Now, to be honest and quite transparent with you guys, I didn't move to Dallas to get a teaching job for the intent to move into real estate full-time within 12 months. My guess was probably 3 to 5 years. I was like, hey, I'm gonna hustle as much as I can and maybe transition out of teaching in 3 to 5 years. But I got very, very fortunate with how my business took off within the first 12 months. It took me a solid 5 months to get my first deal going, but after that, it was just kind of a snowball that just kept rolling. From there, I jumped out of teaching with a decent amount of clientele having already closed, and I decided to jump right into real estate coaching. So I always had someone holding me accountable, whether it be weekly or bi-weekly. But for the most part, a lot of my success comes from the routine that I was able to get myself into on a daily basis. Again, as I mentioned, I was never told to be at an office at 9 o'clock. I was never told to go home at a certain time. I just knew that, hey, Casey, if you gave up a teaching job, a job that you got a bachelor's and master's degree in, that you spent a ton of time and money on, and now you're gonna fail and have to go back to that was not an option for me. So I gave my notice really in the February-March timeframe of 2018. I went full-time officially June of 2018, jumped into coaching in July of 2018, and that particular year, I wound up closing about 33 homes. Majority of that was in Q3 and Q4 when I became a full-time realtor. And my business has obviously taken off since then. I can contribute a lot of my success, obviously, to my routine, but also just the relationships that I've built with the people locally here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as well as agents across the country who know me as the individual agent that they're gonna refer their clients to if they're moving or needing to sell in my area as well. So to go back to being a full-time agent, it's one of the questions I get, as I mentioned before. Do you join a team? Do you not join a team? As a part-time agent, you're really not gonna have the opportunity to join a team. But if you elect to go full-time, let's say you build up your business and then elect to go full-time, or if you just go full-time out the gate, any full-time agent is gonna have a good opportunity to potentially join a real estate team. Now this, honestly, I feel like is the reason a lot of real estate agents fail. They don't interview enough real estate teams, they find one and they just feel like it's good enough. Because in the real estate world, when you interview a team, oftentimes if you're in the corporate world, they're interviewing you, right? They interview you to see if you're gonna be a good fit. They offer you the job because you applied for it, right? You want the job. They have to actually give you the job though. Real estate's a little bit different. When you're talking about a real estate team, it's honestly like a double-sided interview, right? You're interviewing for the spot on the team, and they're making sure that you're gonna be a good fit for the team, but you also as well, because you're still an independent contractor or an individual that solely works off of income that you generate, that you also have to feel like you're gonna be a good fit, and that team is going to be a place where you can grow and build your business. So in this instance, it's actually an interview where you hold some power. Yes, they are the owner of the brokerage or owner of the company, but you are also gonna be an independent contractor, an individual that's working for the brokerage to earn them money. Oftentimes, most professions are just to fill a spot. Like me as a teacher, I wasn't really earning the school district additional income. They just needed a teacher to teach math, right? But I wasn't really making the school any more money. For instance, in real estate, if you join a team and you don't close any deals, you're unfortunately probably gonna get kicked from the team and you've just wasted a lot of their time. Now on the flip side, if you join a team and you become very, very successful, you're gonna make that person a lot of money. And obviously those are conversations down the road in terms of different opportunities where you can scale up to and continue to stay on the team, maybe get a little bit more money paid to you every single time and less money taken from you if you become successful. But at the end of the day, it's a situation where you've got to find a good fit just as much as they do. So yes, full-time agents, I highly suggest that you join a team, especially if you're kind of jumping into the deep end. You're like a 2-year-old jumping in the deep end with no floating toys, okay? You're gonna need someone there to help you, okay? If you're a part-time agent, kind of like I was, even though I consider it full-time, part-time agent to begin with, you develop enough business and then you move full-time. Hopefully by then you have enough under your belt to where you can float in that deep end, being a 5 or 6-year-old really in real estate rather than a 2-year-old without floating toys. And that's really the transition I did. I went part-time, built up enough business, moved full-time. However, going back to a lot of the classes that I see, a lot of people just want to jump ship full-time into real estate. So again, just reiterating the fact and trying to emphasize this more than probably anything else in this video. If you're watching this video and trying to determine whether or not you're gonna be a part-time agent or if you're gonna be a full-time agent, most of the time people know, right? If you have a job, you're probably gonna do this on the side, right? Hopefully you're not gonna leave your job, but if you do, if you're deciding to go full-time, highly suggest that you look into a team. Now, I will give you a caveat here. If you join a team, heads up, they are going to take money from you. But what you really need to do as a full-time agent, jumping into the deep end with no floaty toys, find that team that's gonna offer you a ton of support. Offer you leads, offer you marketing, offer you an office, staff members, so on and so forth, especially if they're gonna be taking half of your commission check. So that in itself should probably cover a majority of the questions. If you're really confused about, hey, do I become a part-time agent or do I become a full-time agent? Now, if you're someone that's watching to the end of this video and you've been following me for a while and you're just interested in investing in real estate, I would suggest that you take the time. Now, in the state of Texas, it takes a lot longer than any other state, but if you look into the state requirements to get a real estate license in your specific state and you haven't bought a house yet, or if you're planning to buy a house, it's a good opportunity to get your feet wet, learn the ropes of real estate, and actually get paid when you buy an investment property. And then even then, if you decide to buy an investment property for yourself and then maybe help a friend or two a year, you're gonna wind up being a pretty profitable realtor. Now, it's not saying you're gonna be doing it full time. You're not gonna make a living closing 3 deals a year, but you can easily do that on the side and make a little side cash as well as get paid when you yourself buy an investment property too. So just a quick recap here for you guys. If you love your job, if you're not wanting to leave your job, if you're an investor, go ahead and do real estate on the side. Get your real estate license and just complete a few transactions a year. Family, friends, maybe yourself if you're buying an investment property. But if you're looking to do real estate full time, don't necessarily jump into the deep end, okay? You can join a team. Join a team is gonna have a lot more support for yourself and you're gonna be able to close transactions much quicker, but I would still honestly suggest Keep your job that you maybe don't like and you want to transition eventually into real estate full-time. Keep that job until your business is built up enough, and then jump ship into the deep end and become a full-time realtor. Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help, and stay tuned for the next video.